Good morning, class 11 students, and welcome to another online biology classroom of St. Michael's Academy. Today, I am going to discuss the last part, but not the least, obviously, the last part of this neural control and coordination chapter, which include the structure and mechanism of eye and ears. So, let's start. First, we are starting today's class with discussing the structure of eye. An inside look at the eye. The outer covering of the eyeball consists of a relatively tough white layer called the sclera or white of the eye. Near the front of the eye in the area protected by the eyelids, the sclera is covered by a thin transparent membrane called conjunctiva, which runs to the edge of the cornea. The sclera or white part of the eye protects the eyeball. The pupil or black dot at the center of the eye is an opening through which light can enter the eye. The iris or colored part of the eye surrounds the pupil. It controls how much light enters the eye by changing the size of the pupil. Now, there is a brief discussion about parts of the eye. Sclera, the sclera is the white of the eye. The cornea is the clear bulging surface in front of the eye. Anterior and posterior chambers, the anterior chamber is between the cornea and the iris. Iris or pupil is the another part of the eye. Apart from this, lens, vitreous humor and retina are the other parts of the eye. You can see the structure. Clearly it has been shown that sclera, the outer covering is called sclera. After that, cornea, lens, iris, blue color portion is iris. Ciliary muscles are also present. That's why ciliary body and ciliary muscle, it has been shown orange color portion. Posterior chamber region behind the iris. Pupil, the black dot at the center of the cornea, you can say. Anterior chamber region between the cornea and iris. Conjunctiva, retina, optic nerve, macula, retinal blood vessels, and vitreous humor. Mechanism of eye or how eye works. Light enters the eye through the cornea, the clear dome-shaped surface that covers the front of the eye. From the cornea, the light passes through the pupil. You can see the diagram. First, light enters the eye through the cornea. Next, from the cornea, the light passes through the pupil. Now, last step, from there, the light then hits the lens, the transparent structure inside the eye which focuses light rays onto the retina. So, you can see the process. Ultimately, the image is forming on the retina. So, first eye defect we are going to discuss, that is myopia or nearsightedness, is a common vision condition in which you can see objects near to you clearly, but objects farther away are blurry. It occurs when the shape of your eye causes light rays to bend or refract incorrectly, focusing images in front of your retina instead of on your retina. You can see in the picture myopia defect and correction has been shown by using a lens. You can see this, and prevention also has been given. How actual image can be formed in case of myopia. So that you can say, we can say rather, in this defect, the person can see nearer objects clearly but fails to detect the distant objects. This type of defect generally occurs when the eyeballs become elongated. As a result, the distance between the cornea and the retina is enhanced than normal. Therefore, the light rays coming from the objects converged or focused in front of the retina but not in retina. The defect is called myopia. The defect can be corrected by using biconcave lenses or only concave lenses. Now the next one is hypermetropia, sometimes called hyperopia, is the term used to define being long-sighted. If you are hypermetropic, the image of a nearby object is formed behind the retina. This means that light is focused too far back in the eye, causing things which are close up to appear blurred. You can see the diagram. In the diagram, it has been clearly shown that image is forming beyond the retina, but after using a lens, image is forming on the retina. So this disease is called hypermetropia. In hypermetropia, the person can see distant objects but unable to see the near objects clearly. When the eyeball is shorter than normal, this type of defect is developed. Though the parallel rays from the distant object focused on the retina, but the divergent rays from the near objects focused behind the retina. As a result, a blurred image is formed. The defect can be corrected by using biconvex lenses or only convex lens. Astigmatism. Astigmatism is a type of refractive error in which the eye doesn't focus light evenly on the retina. This results in distorted or blurred vision at any distance. Other symptoms can include eye strain, headaches, and trouble driving at night. Symptoms: distorted or blurred vision at all distance. Diagnostic method: eye exam. Treatment: glasses, contact lenses surgery. Causes: eye ulcer or ulcer. Now we can see astigma in the picture. Light is decreasing on the retina. Okay, and see this, either image is forming beyond retina or it is forming inside the retina, not on the retina, and image is becoming blurred also, blurred, because amount of light is decreasing slowly. So that you can say, in this defect, the person unable to see the whole or detailed object properly. You can say this condition develops due to the uneven anterior surface of the cornea or irregular curvature of the lens. As a result, the rays from every part of the object are not brought into shape, focus on the retina. This defect can be corrected by using cylindrical lens in the axis of the defect. Now the next one is glaucoma. Glaucoma is a group of eye conditions that damage the optic nerve, the health of which is vital for good vision. This damage is often caused by an abnormally high pressure in your eye. Glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness for people over the age of 60. You can see the eye pressure is increasing in the image. Eye pressure is increasing in the image. You can see. So that we can say when the intraocular pressure or tension increases beyond normal because of the accumulation of aqueous humor due to the overproduction and improper drainage of aqueous humor into the nervous system, or else into the venous system via the canal of stem. The condition is called glaucoma. Increased intraocular pressure damages the nerve fibers in the retina and causes blindness. This condition can be improved by decreasing the overproduction of aqueous humor or increasing the outflow of aqueous humor. Presbyopia. This is also a type of eye disease or eye problem, you can say. What is this? By far the most common and simplest treatment for presbyopia is bifocal or progressive lens eyeglasses. A bifocal lens is split into two sections. The larger primary section corrects for distance vision, while the smaller secondary section allows you to see up close. Now, what is presbyopia? This is the actually treatment. With the advancement of age, 40 years onward, the near point recedes and the person fails to see the details of the nearby objects. This defect is developed due to the loss of plasticity or flexibility of the lens. This leads to failure to focus all the rays from a near object on retina in a single plane. It can be corrected by using biconvex lenses or by using bifocal lens. Now see the diagram. It has been shown what is presbyopia actually. See, first image is going beyond retina. After that, either it is going beyond retina or it is coming inside the retina. So image will not form on the retina. This is presbyopia. Cornea is there, pupil is there, and crystalline lens is also there. This is eye without. First, there has been shown that eye without any disease, and the next one, presbyopia disease of eye. Now, the next one, that is cataract. A cataract is an opacification of the lens of the eye which leads to a decrease in vision. Cataracts often develop slowly and can affect one or both eyes. Symptoms may include faded colors, blurry or double vision, halos around light, trouble with bright lights, and trouble seeing at night. Symptoms: faded colors, blurry vision. Treatment: glasses, cataract surgery. Causes: aging, trauma, radiation exposure. Diagnostic method: eye examination. You can see a cataract picture has been given in the index actually from eye. When lens, transparent lens, becoming cloudy lens, this disease is called cataract. So you can say when the lens becomes opaque due to aging of disease, the condition is called cataract. The person unable to see anything or becomes blind. It can be corrected by replacing the defective lens with a normal lens from a donor or with an artificial lens. Structure of human ear. The parts of the ear include external or outer ear. This is external ear or outer ear. See this color in the index, this yellow color. Till this it extends, that means it is external or outer ear. Now, external or outer ear consisting of pinna or auricle. You can see the diagram. Here it has been shown that pinna or auricle, the outside portion. And in index also it has been shown what is auricle or pinna. Next, this is the outside part of the ear. Obviously, you can see tympanic membrane or eardrum. You can see tympanic membrane in middle ear. Pinkish portion, tympanic membrane. It's actually leaf-like structure. The tympanic membrane divides the external ear from the middle ear. And middle ear or tympanic cavity consisting of ossicles, inner ear consisting of cochlea. So middle ear consisting of ossicles, auditory ossicles after tympanic membrane, pink color auditory ossicles. You can see auditory ossicles. And the last one, inner ear consisting of cochlea. Cochlea, obviously it's a spiral shaped cochlea, you can see. Apart from this, inner ear includes semilunar canals, vestibule, that is vestibular apparatus, that tube-like structure attached with cochlea, or the, you can say, the end portion of cochlea, and yellow color vestibulocochlear nerve in the inner ear. One more thing, in the middle ear, these ossicles, name you know, that is malleus, incus and steps. Malleus, incus and steps, or you can say hammer, anvil and stirrup. These three are the smallest bone of human body. So this is the complete structure of human ear. Now, mechanism of ear. That means how ear works. The sound waves are gathered by the outer ear and sent down the ear canal to the eardrum. You can see the diagram. The sound waves are gathered by the outer ear or pinna and sent down the ear canal to the eardrum, ear canal or auditory canal. Through the ear canal or auditory canal, this sound wave has been sent to the eardrum, that means to tympanic membrane. The sound waves cause the eardrum to vibrate, which sets the three tiny bones in the middle ear into motion. That means when tympanic membrane vibrates, the three tiny bones, that is, you can say hammer, anvil and stirrup, they are also vibrating into motion. The motion of the bones causes the fluid in the inner ear or cochlea to move. So this motion leads the wave to move to the cochlea, and from cochlea it is going to the brain through the nerve. And what is the function of ear? The function of the outer ear is to collect sound waves and guide them to the tympanic membrane. The middle ear is a narrow air-filled cavity in the temporal bone. It is spanned by a chain of three tiny bones, the malleus or hammer, incus or anvil, and steps or stirrup, collectively called the auditory ossicles. So if I want to explain you the mechanism in very short term, I can say the outer ear, which we see, is called pinna and collects sound from the surroundings. This collected sound passes through the auditory canal, at the end of which there is a thin membrane called eardrum or tympanic membrane. The sound travels through a series of compression and rarefactions. Compression and rarefactions, because this is sound wave, that's why I am using these two terms. Compression and rarefactions through the medium. When one such compression of the medium reaches the eardrum, the pressure on the outside of it increases and pushes the eardrum inward. In the same way, the eardrum moves outward when a rarefaction reaches it. So the eardrum vibrates in this way. These vibrations are amplified a number of times by three bones named hammer, anvil and stirrup, or malleus, incus or steps. In the middle ear, which transmits the amplified pressure variations received from the sound wave to the inner ear. In the inner ear, the pressure vibrations are turned into electrical signals by the cochlea. These electrical signals are transmitted to the brain through auditory nerve, and the brain interprets the electrical signal to sound again. So this is the total mechanism that how ear works, or mechanism of ear. For any doubts or queries, please email me at sudeshna1.sma@outlook.com. We also welcome your responses by way of your views and feedback on the PPTs or videos at feedback.stmichaelsacademy@gmail.com. Thank you, students, and have a nice day.